Hello religion thinkers, and welcome to another short video exploring the meaning of religion. I'm Dr. James Rowell, and today we will say a few further words about religious trilemma. Now, as we talked about previously, trilemma is a choice of three tough options: theism, atheism, or agnosticism. Briefly put, we stated that atheism seems very evident to the senses. We all know that we die and do not physically see God or heaven directly. This may seem like a very grim prospect to other persons, however. Theism is more hopeful about God, the afterlife, and the ultimate purpose of our lives. We are here for good reason, believers maintain. But who put us here? Was it a God? Which one? Do we reincarnate or have a soul? Religious believers can disagree strongly about the big picture of our world and our role in it. Agnosticism is a safe haven between these two choices, but it also refrains from deciding on this question. And that may not be an easy thing to do. I wanted to say a few further words about these three choices, this trilemma, because I feel it may help make some things clearer. First, theism. So a theist is a believer, but why do you believe? Many are very traditional in their beliefs, accepting a single text or a tradition as authoritative. It is sacred, perhaps even sent from heaven. It may be the Bible, the Quran, the Jewish Tanakh, or some other scripture. In any case, it is one sacred tradition that matters. Traditional believers think that there are certain foundations of religion that really should not be disputed or cannot be abandoned. Other believers, however, do not accept that God or what is sacred is limited to one tradition. These may be progressive believers or universal theists, as I've described them, who think that moral values are most essential and are shared by a variety of the world's religions. Progressives or universalists do not think that God spoke through only one text or tradition, but they believe that what is sacred or important has been communicated to a variety of different religions. The messages may not be identical, but perhaps there was a reason for that. Morality is the core message for progressives or universalists, and the message was spread all across the world. Second, we have atheism. It too has its own tough set of choices to make. As I've said before, Sigmund Freud and Karl Marx were pretty hard-nosed against religion. In Freud's case, religion was an illusion, an imaginary hypothesis we could do without. In Marx's case, religion was the opium of the people, a distraction from their oppressed status. When people came to full realization and they controlled their own means of labor and production, Marx thought that religious belief would be largely unnecessary. These were hard atheists, that is, people who think that religion was not only bad, but in some ways harmful, and that one really should not believe. If you're not so hard-nosed as Freud or Marx were against religion, and maybe you think that religion can bring some positive values, then I might describe you as a tolerant atheist, even a humanist. You might even agree that some religious values are good, but not capital T true, and that there really is no God, but some religious beliefs may help. Once again, however, the atheist has to think about why he or she doesn't believe and whether religion is entirely harmful or not. Third, agnosticism. I've encountered much confusion in the past over Darwin. Some think he was an atheist. Darwin actually described himself as an agnostic, someone uncertain or uncommitted to religious belief. He did have grave doubts, certainly, but I think he agreed with T.H. Huxley on being agnostic. Agnosticism is a very rational and safe choice. In all humility, we should have some suspended judgment about things, and take a lesson from agnostics in this regard. To pretend we know all is to exchange a godlike viewpoint for a limited and frail and human vantage point, and that seems absurd. But agnosticism also refrains from choosing and deciding on the religious question, and that's not easy. Being completely even-keeled is also not easy, and some are going to be more friendly towards religious values. I might call them secular humanists who appreciate moral values, but aren't committed to final truth statements about religion. You might also be undecided but slightly skeptical of religions and their dogmas. Maybe also you are not entirely convinced that religion does more harm than good, but that its effects are not limited to either. Agnostics also have tough choices to make, or to refrain from making. In parting words, what can we say about Trilemma? I think we all have different views of the world. The puzzle pieces of our imagination are assembled differently, and the world is seen in a very distinct way. Having separate views of life and how the puzzle pieces add up is invariably going to produce some conflict. Let us hopefully learn from the value of other perspectives. Atheism, I think, is at its best in being rationally skeptical. It is a check against absurd or very untenable beliefs. We all need some self-criticism. Agnosticism reminds us that it is also good at times to refrain from final judgment. Keep an open mind. Finally, theism, religious belief, holds out lasting hope for our emotional and moral role in the world, that we really do matter. Believers hold a sacred purpose for our lives. I've always thought that there was something healthy in seeing the wisdom from another point of view, and I hope I've helped make that clear here today. Thank you for listening, religion thinkers. Please subscribe and stay tuned for the next video.